the picture becomes a little more scary. The candidates advocated for Judeo-Christian values pervading our laws, for the federal government to take power out of the hands of the states in legislating moral issues, think gay marriage and abortion, and for Congress to take away the judiciary's power to review moral laws. And all in all, it makes you wonder, as William Southend at Slate did, if these candidates who so often decry the influence of Islam or the fake creeping Sharia law, if they actually wouldn't mind a theocracy, as long as it was Christian. Joining me to discuss this is David Silverman, president of American Atheists. David, thanks for coming back on the show. Now, I just want to start with the way that this, event went down. It wasn't televised. It was streamed online. At the end of the day, only 17,000 people actually watched it. Do you feel like this was a little more important, that more people should see what these candidates are actually saying in this regard?
Well, I think that the problem that we're seeing when we're looking at the Republican Party is what the American Atheists have been saying for a long time. The Republican Party is now the party of a Christian theocracy, and it is not it's not going overboard to say such a thing. The candidates in the Republican Party right now are advocating theocracy, and it's a very scary thing. And what they're doing, they don't have answers for the real problems that we have in this country. They don't have the answers for the war or the economy or the jobs or the crumbling infrastructure. So they are inventing a problem, and they're assigning it to religious minorities, and then they're demonizing those religious minorities so that they can coalesce their base around support around a fake problem. And they're cloaking the whole thing in patriotism. And it's very scary to watch. It's very predictable. We've been seeing this happen, and we've been raising the red flag. And I'm very happy that the press is picking up on this. And yeah, it's very scary that this wasn't televised. But I've been looking at the internet coverage on this for the past day, and it's really picking up. I'm glad that people are starting to see the Christian right, the Christian right's influence on the Republican Party as real. And I would just like to say that I used to be a Republican. I am all about small government. I'm all about gun rights. I support the troops. I support a strong military. But I cannot vote for a Republican because they are theocrats. And they think I'm immoral just because I think atheists should have a fair seat at the table. And that's wrong, and that's un-American on their part, and it's very, very scary from our point of view.
All right, well, let me make one statement, too, in regards to what you said. There was one candidate that actually stood out at this forum in Iowa this weekend and sounded like the sane one that reminded everybody about personal liberty and that you shouldn't impose your beliefs on other people, and that was Ron Paul. But aside from him, everyone else there sounded the same way. And, people might think that we're just being mean here or something. But let me play a clip from something that Rick Santorum said that just might go along with this theocracy argument that you're making. Take a listen.
Unlike Islam, where the higher law and the civil law are the same, in our case, we have civil laws. But our civil laws have to comport with the higher law. Our civil laws have to, and that's why the issue of abortion, as long as abortion is legal, at least according to the Supreme Court, legal in this country, we will never have rest because that law does not comport with God's law.
So he wants God's law to rule. Now, I'm just wondering, as an atheist, how do you fight these types of statements and remind people that because you're an atheist doesn't mean that you're necessarily immoral? Because it sounds like, from the Republican perspective, that unless you are someone of faith, then you have no morals.
Right, and Mr. Santorum forgot to say that it was his interpretation of God's law that really counts. It's not the other people's interpretation of God's law that really counts. It's not about the economy, and it's not about the jobs or the war. It's about abortion or gay marriage, and it's about Islam. And they're going to come and take over this country and make it their country. It's about the secularists.